What's up? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create Web3 products with no prior experience or technical skills at all. Yes, you heard that right. We can actually do that. There are a lot of tools out there that can help you build products with no technical skills at all. And in this video, I'm actually going to show you all of these products and tools that you can use to build products of your own. If you don't know who I am yet, my name is Amari Amapakabo, and I am the co-founder and CEO at Blockledge. Blockledge is an education platform that teaches Web3 with a lot of courses that cover the basics of blockchain, and also we cover more specific things like how to build a no-code NFT project. So whether you want to become a developer or you want to create a Web3 or blockchain company, go on blockledge.xyz and there you have all the knowledge you need to get started. So as I said earlier in this video, I want to give you some ideas of blockchain products that you can launch yourself with no technical skills at all. So I'm gonna give you ideas of products that you can launch and how to actually launch these products. So let's get started. Now. The first Web3 project that you can launch with no technical skill is an NFT collection. NFTs are not dead as you might think. The NFT market is still a very big market that offers a lot of opportunities and possibilities for growth and also for success. We have seen a lot of NFT projects in the span of 1 year becoming successful from nothing. And of course, you might also know the biggest projects of all time in the NFT space, which are Bored Ape, CryptoPunks, Doodles, and there are a lot more examples that I could tell you about. The great thing about NFTs is that it is mainly a community-based business. So that means that first you need to focus on your community and then you can launch an NFT that appeals to them. And the reason why you can launch an NFT collection with no technical skills at all is that there are a lot of tools out there that you can use to make this happen. And the only skills that you would actually need is having a little bit of creativity and also having some good taste for art. Some people would argue that art is subjective, but honestly, when we see that, yeah, I think art can be objective sometimes. So the first step to create an NFT collection from scratch with no technical skill would be to create the art. Obviously, that's an important aspect of NFTs, is having good art that is appealing to your community. And to create your art, you can use a lot of different tools like Adobe Illustrator, or you can even draw them by hand and then, use Photoshop to export what you draw or something like that. I actually created an NFT collection myself, and I had no technical skills to do so, as in I didn't know how to code smart contracts. And what I did is I took all of my art, I created some attributes in Adobe Illustrator, then I exported these attributes to Photoshop, and then I basically used an NFT generator app that allowed me to put all of my attributes in this app, and it was basically creating NFTs based on my attributes. And then the last step that I did is that I basically created a smart contract that linked each of my NFTs to the NFT that I had previously created with my NFT generator. So after all of that is done, the last thing that you need to do is to create good marketing so that people actually want to buy your NFTs. But honestly, this is a very easy to reproduce process. The only great thing you need to focus on is art. Focusing on making great art for NFTs is basically essential for people to want to buy your NFT. So there are many tools you can use to do all of what I described. In terms of art, the first tool that I would use is Adobe Illustrator if you have skills in that, but you can also draw your NFT by hand and then get someone to do them digitally. And then you can generate your NFTs with an app that is called nftgenerator.art. And this basically takes all of your attributes and create NFTs based on that. And to create this smart contract, there are many apps that allow you to do that, like Nifty Kit, Zero Code NFTs, and also Bueno.art. All of these apps have different features that play. So honestly, just go on all of these websites. I'll link them in the description if you want to build some NFTs, and then you can choose based on what you need. And cheers to the NFT community. The second Web3 project that you can launch without having any technical skills is basically creating a content website that you monetize through a smart contract or an NFT as well. So that means you create a website on which you share valuable information on a specific niche. And for people to access this information, they will need to either have an NFT that allow them to get the information that is on the website, or it could also be a smart contract that says, like, if people do this action or this thing, they have access to the website. There are a lot of successful projects doing that, but the most valuable and the most noticeable project that is doing this is called Pastry.xyz. Pastry.xyz is basically a website that is basing all of their content on Web3 research. So it is a little bit technical, but honestly, it's a great resource if you want to learn. And to access this website, you need to own one of their NFTs, and you need to renew this NFT each month. So that means you buy this NFT with your wallet, and then you hold it in your wallet. And after 30 days, the NFT changes its color. And when it changes its color, it means that your NFT is not active anymore and you need to renew it. So this is a great way to utilize Web3 while giving access to very valuable content. Honestly, this would not require that much work or technical skill at all. The only thing you would need to do is to create a website using a no-code tool like Bubble, for example. Bubble is a very great app that allows you to create any type of applications without code. So yes, it requires a little bit of practice, but honestly, it is definitely accessible for anybody that wants to do something. So you would create your front end with this Bubble editor, and then you would probably use a plugin to enable Web3 onto your app. So for example, there's a Web3 plugin that is called Web3 and MetaMask that is actually super cool, and it would definitely allow you to create this type of website where you create content and give people access to it by buying an NFT or by doing certain things. The third project that you can launch without having technical skill is a NFT marketplace. My question is this: what do you think is better? Is it better to launch an NFT or to launch the app on which NFTs are launched? Think about it. But I think launching NFT marketplaces is a big opportunity today, although there are a lot of NFT marketplaces out there. So you will need to do something that is very different to stand out. But contrary to what you think though, creating an NFT marketplace is definitely not the hardest thing you can do, because there are a lot of tools that allow you to do that. So you could basically create a marketplace from scratch by using one of these tools, and then you would basically launch it with only one click. Now, there's a lot of competition in this market because NFT marketplaces are a big business for a lot of companies like OpenSea, Rarible, and Magic Eden. So you would need to do something a little bit different for it to work. So a good idea would be to probably do an NFT marketplace targeting a specific niche. So for example, let's say you just want to target photographers and you only sell and allow NFTs made by photographers on your marketplace. Or maybe it could be in-game items, or maybe it can be also an NFT marketplace that is only targeting and used by independent artists. So really, when you start thinking about it, there are a lot of ideas and concepts that you could go with to differentiate yourself. There are some tools that allow you to create your marketplace from scratch with no code at all. The first one is Rarible. So Rarible is already an NFT marketplace, but they also allow you to create a marketplace from scratch with custom trading fees, with custom branding, with basically everything, and you use their base code to run this marketplace. So it's a very reliable solution. There's also another app called Holoplex that is an NFT marketplace builder that is also no code, and this one is a little bit less known, but it's also quite robust. So if you want to build an NFT marketplace, I will link the two right below. And finally, once again, you could also use Bubble again if you want something fully custom with your own rules, with your own options and everything. You would use Bubble to create your front end and then use plugins to create your Web3 backend. The fourth Web3 project idea that you could launch without any technical skills is a DAO. Honestly, this is one of my favorites because you don't actually need tech to create a DAO in the first place, because DAOs are mainly focused on community. So essentially creating a DAO is creating a community. So the truth is that you can create DAOs without even having a website. So maybe you would go on Discord and create a Discord, or just building a community before, and then once the community is created, you could basically build a project with them and turn this into a DAO. So really, a DAO is different than all of the other projects out there, because the first thing you really need to do is to have a community. If you have a DAO but there's nobody in this DAO, well, is it really a DAO? No. So really focus on building a community, then get this community to participate in a project. And if then you really want to give your community more than just a platform to discuss, well, you could build this platform as well. So the steps I would take to create this DAO would be to create a community, whether it's on Twitter, and then push these people to Telegram or Discord, so that you truly have a community you can interact with, ask questions, build things with, and really engage with them a lot. Then I would start creating a project and tell my community about it, and tell them straight away that I plan to make this a DAO. Usually people are pretty excited about DAOs because it basically involves them in the process of the project, and a lot of people are really excited about this type of new ways to engage with communities. And then once I have this community, I would definitely create a website to enhance the experience of every member in the community, and I would probably use Bubble once again to do that. By the way, this is not a video sponsored by Bubble at all. It's just that Bubble is so robust and allows you to do so much that you could really build any types of app with it, and that's why it comes back on each of these examples. So the tools you could use to build this DAO are Discord, Telegram, or any other community-focused apps or platforms. Then yourself is a tool in a DAO. So yourself as a public figure that people trust and appreciate is also going to be a very important aspect of creating a DAO. It's easier for people to engage with someone and a project when they know who is behind it. And finally, a no-code app builder like Bubble that will allow you to enhance the community by creating a better experience for your users. The fifth and last project idea that you can launch in Web3 without any technical skill is a crypto commerce platform. So we all know how great e-commerce is. There was a big explosion in the last few years. So if we take e-commerce and Web3 and we mix the two, we get crypto commerce. So essentially it would just be an e-commerce website like any other that is just accepting crypto only, or crypto on top of fiat. And on this website you could sell many things like digital items or even physical items that are, for example, linked to NFTs to make it even more Web3. But essentially that would be a great project idea that you can launch with literally no technical skills at all, and that would just require you to focus on marketing and on getting people to your website. So you could literally build this with any e-commerce builder, and then you would just allow crypto payments on this platform. The tools you can use to build this website are Shopify to create a e-commerce platform in only a few clicks. It's super easy to do, it's super easy to use. The interface is honestly great. I originally came from e-commerce and I was using Shopify to run my stores, and honestly I don't think there's a better option out there in terms of price and also in terms of how the websites look, even in terms of data. I mean, there's a lot of options, so there'll be a link right below so you can go there, and if you want to start this business, well, you'll be able to go there. But you can also use a website builder like Webflow that will go a little bit more in depth in how you want your website to look. So basically Webflow is a no-code website builder that you can use to build any types of landing pages and e-commerce websites. So really Webflow is a great alternative to Shopify if you want to be more flexible on how your website looks. And then once again, you will just have to link a crypto payment gateway to this website. So guys, that is all for this video. I showed you the 5 top ideas of Web3 project that you can launch without having any technical skills. I really hope that you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. We will do more of these videos more often, so that's how you can support us to do more. Now, if you don't know how to do all of these things and you want to go more in depth in technicality, we are preparing some courses that we will put on blockly.xyz, so there will be a link as well in the description. If you want to learn blockchain and learn how to build projects in this industry, just go there. You have everything you need there to learn, and yeah, I hope I will see you there. That is all for me. See you in the next video. Cheers.